Hello and welcome, well that's very loud, to the 2023 Hankook London E-Prix pre-race press conference. First of all, with our team's representatives. Joining us on the stage we have Sylvain Filippi from Envision Racing, Florian Modlinger from Heuer Porsche, and James Barclay from TCS Jaguar Racing. Now Sylvain, let's start with you. Heading into the final race weekend of Season 9, with Envision leading the team's championship and Nick still very much in contention for the Drivers' Championship, not a bad place to be.
Yes, indeed, not a bad place to be. However, we've been in that situation before. Things can change really quickly in Formula E. So all we are doing is staying really focused on the weekend, focus on putting a quick car on the track, and then just focus on ourselves. There's so many other variables that we can't control, especially around this track here. So yeah, we are just focusing on this as any other race weekend. It's the same amount of points as any other race weekend. So yeah, focus on that and see where we end up on Sunday evening.
So to kind of conclude, now we're at the end of the season, back looking where we were at the start, and the difficulties around getting up to grips with the new tech, with the Gen 3, what do you think you and your team have done specifically to maximise the potential of the car, and how have those learnings helped then develop the team further?
First, the birth of the Gen 3 car was challenging for all of us because the car is so advanced, so technically advanced and innovative, and so of course we had a lot of systems and things to work out. As you know, we are working very closely with Jaguar to deliver a car that is reliable, and then secondly, improve and optimize the car on performance. So you can see that our performance collectively for our 4 cars evolved really strongly through the mid-season and all the way to the end. And that's thanks to our, the way we work together and then the inherent potential of the car. Of course, what was unusual is the amount of work we had to put in literally just before the start of the season. But it's all in the past now, and then we are now enjoying a really fast car on all type of tracks, which gave us then the tools to fight for wins and podiums, which is always a really nice feeling.
So, not this time, but last year, in London, Nick had one good race, and then on the Saturday, but then the Sunday it was difficult to replicate that. How will that be avoided this weekend, and how relaxed are, and not just Nick, but yourself and the team going into this weekend? What's the vibe in the team?
Vibe is very good. Ask me again on Sunday evening, but as I said, really frankly, 90% of what's happening you cannot control. So we are just focusing on ourselves, making sure the car is quick. If you can put yourself in a good position in qualifying, you will have done a big part of the job, and that's really on us, really. So that's what we're doing. Once the race starts, I might close my eyes for some period of time. That's the way it goes. The vibe in the team is great. The team's actually doing well, given all the all-nighters and really, really long season we've had, and in such a condensed way. We're actually all good. It helps to be here at home, on home soil, with our friends and family around, and we have a lot of guests here. So it's a really nice vibe around, and a great venue to finish the season. So yeah, all good.
Just to touch upon what you said there about the importance of qualifying, that's not necessarily been an area of strong for Nick, let's say, this season. All of his wins have come from, I think, as high, no higher than 8th. But he had his best qualifying performance in the last race in Rome. Does it feel now, in terms of package and performance, you're in the perfect spot to push for what needs to happen with the titles?
Yeah, I'm confident the car has the potential. Our car is looking good and competitive on this type of track, so I'm confident there. Nick has missed the duels several times for thousands of a second. I think he's one of the drivers for them, so really could have done either way pretty easily. But yes, you're right that you don't really want to start P15 here, that's for sure. So yeah, just a different track layout.
And Florian, moving on to you. Lots was said at the start of the season about how strong the Porsche powertrain was, especially in the first few races, and its consistency, reliability, efficiency at the later stages in the races. With Pascal's wins and podiums mostly coming in the first half, or let's say 2/3 of the season, what do you think has led to that perceived now drop-off in performance?
There we have to say, first of all, want to check.
Here we go. Check
This one.
They've just swapped mics.
Check.
Turn them all on. On this one.
Can I take this one? Okay, hello everyone. First of all, we have to say that we are really proud of the package we have with our 99X Electric. When you see the car won 6 times this year, we as a team have 4 wins. And when you see throughout the season and you compare only the performance, Jaguar was there from the beginning. But when you see which mistakes happened on the different sides, we collected at the beginning of the season more points, especially in the first half. When you build the average over race, we had in the first half 21 points per race, which was really strong. And the second 6 races, we had around 12 points per race. And there we have to say in the second half we had more incidents. We did not collect the points. There the other teams collected the points. But from performance-wise, you could see in Portland, Antonio was fighting for the win. In Jakarta, Pascal won. This means we have a very high level of competition and we are still competitive, but it depends also on the ambient condition, how warm it's outside, and then especially on the track characteristics. We saw that different packages have different strengths on the different track characteristics, and that's clearly where you see maybe there you have a tenth more performance, and in this tight field and close field, 1/10 can make the big difference if you're in the duels or not, because this year we saw several times it's hundreds or thousands of a second.
Thank you for the insight. I mean, that's in reference to the Porsche team, but if we look at the powertrain in general, it's overwhelmingly been a success throughout the season. You know, with the likes of the shared powertrain with Avalanche Andretti, and especially championship leader Jake Dennis with the same package. Does that give you at least some confidence in the hard work that's been put in to challenge the top tier, both this weekend, but then also looking ahead to next seasons as well, especially with the further commitment with Porsche?
Clear, that's a big reward for the whole team, for the development team in Weissach, who built a very competitive car and powertrain, and also for our team. And we have a really good cooperation with our customer team, and we can be proud that a driver on a 99X Electric is now fighting for the driver's title, and we as a team are fighting for the team title. And also Avalanche Andretti is close. I think the top 4 teams are only spread by 35 points, and therefore overall we are really proud of our car and our powertrain.
So moving on to this track specifically, lots have been said about the technical aspects of it, the physical aspects of it, especially in terms of the layout, grip conditions, and obviously the world's first indoor-outdoor circuit. What's your assessment of it, and especially that new section as well? How complicated is this circuit to manage?
Yeah, the circuit to manage is quite complex, because also the overtaking opportunities are not the best. Therefore, qualifying needs to be emphasized. Good quality result is key for a good race result. And when you see the grip differences indoor-outdoor, and also depending on the weather conditions, could be if we have some drops or wet conditions, that it will be only partially wet. These are different challenges, and therefore we need to focus and prepare best possible for these challenges which are oncoming now for the next 2 days.
And James, finally moving on to yourself. Briefly looking back on the Rome weekend, where there was moments of heartbreak but also elation for the team, kind of bittersweet. Can you sum up your thoughts following the 2 big incidents with Mitch and Sam, and how you then look to refocus the team for this weekend?
Yeah, sure. So firstly, I think Rome yet again served up to be an incredibly entertaining track. We know it's one that the drivers love to drive, but it has consequences, right? So I think we saw that in Rome. Firstly, really proud, obviously, after the back-to-back wins there last year, to come out on Saturday and have a clean sweep. It's so rare that you can, you top quality with pole position, you win and you get fastest lap. So that was fantastic on Mitch's side. Sam joined 3 drivers who, to be fair, as we're going faster, just discovered some of the challenges of the circuit, and that bump at turn 6. Honestly, we can't really lay any blame there. That was really just a case of us all realising these cars are a lot quicker at that circuit. And yeah, he was caught out by that. So most importantly, we're glad everyone was okay. I mean, the biggest accident we've had in Formula E, 12 cars, I think, in total. And testament to the FIA, to Dallara, Spark, and to the manufacturers who've all built cars that can be incredibly safe in that instance. So As always, safety never stands still, so I'm not going to lie and say it's difficult to watch when you're in our position when that happens, but most importantly, Sam was okay. As you say, we were in a strong position with Sam as well, so it was a bit of a tough blow in terms of championship points. So that was Saturday, and to come out of it positive is the truth, that everyone was good. So Sunday, again, we were looking to try and repeat, but we always know everyone steps forward on Sunday. That's double headers always allow everyone to look at where they can improve, and we saw that indeed on Sunday. Nick's phenomenal qualifying performance, Mitch and Sam again being really competitive, which was good. And then into the race, I think incredibly, and I always say this about racing drivers, Sam had a huge accident at turn 6. His first flying lap through turn 6 was his fastest lap, through that fastest sector through that corner. Just shows the commitment of these drivers, which is phenomenal. So in the race, for Sam to turn around after an all-night crew to build that car, to come back with the podium was phenomenal, good for his confidence, and really good that he could put that behind him. And then Mitch, a real shame what happened, to be really honest. Firstly, he makes very few mistakes. The last mistake I know Mitch made was in New York in 2020, I think it was. So very, very rare that he makes those errors. And I know personally he was absolutely gutted by that. But listen, you have to budget for that from time to time, and he's a phenomenal racing driver. So that is what it is. It was unfortunate he made contact with Nick. It was just close racing. When you make a mistake like that, it had caught other drivers out for the weekend. So listen, he's put that behind him. He's yet again, I think, for the last 3 years shown that consistently he's coming to the last round with a chance of the championship. So that just shows to his quality, to be really honest with you. So
just to further on that, so mathematically Mitch still in the title fight, as are the team, the constructors. Similar situation with Porsche at the customer manufacturer relationship with Envision, both of you in the running for both. What will be the plan of attack this weekend? Because the margins are so fine. Do you try anything new? Is it there's more risk but potentially more reward?
Yeah, first things first, from a psychology point of view, it's amazing, right? We all worked incredibly hard to develop a car that could be competitive. So to have 2 Jaguars in the top 3, 2 Jaguar Padin in the top 3 is fantastic. So that's the first point. You have to look at it from that perspective. All we can ask is we come into the last weekend of the championship with a chance to win it. With the technical regulations we have, everything that Sylvain and Florian said, we're very cleverly devised in terms of regulations. It's impossible to dominate here in Formula E. No one's done it to date because of how the sport is regulated and how we the kind of core points into the technical specifications. So to come into that position means you've done things on average across the season really, really well to be in that position. So firstly, you have to take that element of pride. Our job now this weekend is to just go and do the best we can. Whether you're a golfer or a tennis player, if you get tense at this moment, you're not going to perform at your best. So it's about enjoying this moment. This is why we work so hard to be in the shadow of a championship. And although we're third in the team standing and which is the drivers, we can some degree be the chasers. That makes it a little bit easier. We just come and do our best job. But most importantly, we enjoy the process, because like I said, this is what we worked all year, so hard to be in the position to give this a shot. So yeah, we're going 100% and we're going to enjoy the process.
So just to kind of further on slightly, finally, from that sentiment, obviously there's 2 big races left this weekend, but as a team, you've had some of the highest of highs, but also some of the lowest of lows across the season. How do you attempt to sum that up, and even try and think about a highlight from those 7 months?
It's motorsport, right? It's sport. That's what happens. If it was easy and you could just predict it, everyone would do it, and there'd be no such thing as real sport. Right? Real sport is about the highs, it's about the lows. You lose more than you win statistically, no matter what sport you look at. That is the reality. And some years you have a bit more misfortune. Some of it is at our door, some of it isn't. So from our perspective, we tend not to look at the lows. That's part of the process. But we look at the firsts. And our first 1-2 this year in Berlin, our first clean sweep of the podium in Sao Paulo with Envision, only the second time the manufacturer's ever done that. Those are moments that actually I'll look back on and say, this year, the fact we come into the final round with a chance of the championship, not only for ourselves, but with our customer team, that's actually the most important thing. The rest is gravy on top now.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you. Just a reminder that the drivers' press conference will be following very shortly.
Thank you.